Hi, it's George. And this week, I'm putting myself in the hot seat. Listen, we have a lot of innovation, a lot to share with you. So this week's podcast is in two parts. The first is breaking down. We use the Etch-a-Sketch to walk you through the 10 different modules that are inside the clarity, strategic capacity, and business value analysis. And then we shift gears and we talk about the growth drive process and 2 meetings for winning new engagements. What precise meetings will you hold to educate your client, to get them to hire you, get into analysis, planning, and execution, okay? So the great segments for you today. And so listen up, listen in. If you have questions, we are here to help and committed to your success. Thanks.
Hi there, it's George. And I thought I'd take a couple of minutes to disambiguate, to shed some light on, to help you understand everything, all of the great ways in which the clarity, strategic capacity, and business value analysis tool will help you. So there's a lot in there. You know, I did a demo yesterday with 2 very, very experienced guys, and we ended up chatting for an hour and a half. And it's hard to explain everything that's in the box. So believe it or not, threw this together on my iPad. Thank you, GoodNotes. And let's walk through it. Okay, so you need to watch this on a screen. Start on the left. First thing you're going to do, the first thing the tool helps you do is really do outstanding discovery about your client, about their intent, where do they want to go, and their business's capacity, what we call strategic capacity, to get them there. That's called Clarity Level 1. It's 24 questions. You can complete the analysis of your client in just a few minutes. Now, what else is there? I'm going to start here at Value Planner. Value Planner is linked to Clarity Level 1. It's part of the Level 1 suite. Those of you who have the business development, the biz dev subscription level. Value Planner says, well, how much money are you going to need every year to fund your lifestyle, right? Lifestyle different than income, to fund your lifestyle. Value Planner will help you calculate what the business needs to be worth to get them the success they want. There is another module right here called Protect Value. Protect Value uncovers insufficiencies in insurance and in advanced wealth planning, succession planning, sophisticated compensation plans, and more sophisticated insurance coverages that are going to de-risk the business. So Protect Value. If you're a exit planning wealth advisor and you're not listening up and saying, whew, I might want to run the Discovery Value Planner and Protect Value modules, you'd call me and I'll show you why you might want to check it out. Now, what else will Level 1 do? It generates a deliverable. Great. 26 pages explaining the relationship between strategic capacity and the transferable value of the business. And there is a ton in there. So you can download a sample on the website. You can also use Level 1 to run a senior leadership alignment report, right? How does the senior team see capacity? And use that report to run a workshop. Now, these are revenue generating activities for you as a growth advisor. Now, Level 1, over here, big red, we have the range of business value. Now, with just a few questions, you know, Mark Twain said it. If I had had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. We've written the shorter letter. The power of technology with just a few questions and some basic revenue information, very basic, things that your client will have in their head, we can calculate a very accurate transferable value for the business, but not just the transferable value, the maximum value. If this business had high strategic capacity, here's what it would be worth, top end of the range of multiples, and the value gap, right? The value gap, which is often a wealth gap. So range of business value, we calculate that after just a few minutes. You can calculate that after just a few minutes. And this is a calculation of value as set forth in the standards put out by the AICPA, the NACVA, and the ASA. This is a good calculation of value. Great. Now, I should have a dotted line here. After Level 1, the Level 1 analysis, 24 questions, will also feed our leadership module. More on that in a sec. All right. Now, Level 1, we now want to go deep. we say to the client, hey, well, if you're going to increase the value of this business, if you're going to increase gross revenue, net income, we need to understand where your bottlenecks are. And that is where you will use the clarity level 2, the strategic planning deep analysis. All right, clarity level 2. And what happens? That's an additional average of about 5 questions on each of the 24 growth driving objectives. This is an objectives and key results driven system. So you wealth advisors and exit planners out there who are interested in doing the discovery portion, terrific. This is where, now, when we get into the deep analysis, is where you might want to either hand the reins over to your client. That's one answer. And you might also consider bringing in a seasoned growth advisor. And I would recommend someone who has earned the C3D designation. We can talk about that separately. But someone who really understands their craft, understands this system, and knows how to apply it. And importantly, someone with whom you can trust to collaborate with you, to have accountable, to be collaboratively accountable with you to the client's benefit. All right. Level 2 analysis. What the heck does that feed? Well, we refine our calculation of value. And then what? Well, we create a deliverable. Terrific. You have access to the execute guidance module. What are we going to do to fix this beast? To simulator. What will happen if we increase revenue, strategic capacity? And it's a regression projection tool that also benchmarks your client against the industry, their industry, okay? The deep analysis also feeds a leadership module. Now, the leadership module allocates, it's an ideal world, right? It is a utopia. In an ideal business, here is how the 24 growth driving objectives would be allocated across 4 functional areas: the executive, the financial, the operational, and the revenue systems. Think CEO, CFO, COO, and CRO. And who should be primarily accountable for each of these growth driving objectives. That is very important when we're planning, very important when we're running workshops with clients, right? So deep analysis, we can start creating a plan. You will create a plan using execute guidance, using the templates that are in the community and the premium resources, using simulator to predict the future. I am not scratching the surface, but I'm going one layer deep on what's in this system. Now, you have your deep analysis. Let's say you've created a plan, or you've decided to democratize, to create a plan to democratize accountability inside 90. 90 is fabulous, right? The entire methodology, process, scorecards, and execution leadership business operating system, the LBOS, is embedded in 90. Okay, so you can very, very efficiently imagine. What I'm talking about here is less than an hour to do Clarity 1. If you're just doing it with the CEO, let's say 2 hours, including some robust conversations to complete Clarity Level 2. And then to stand up an instance in 90.io is the push of a button. How efficient is that? How much more time do you now have to do rather than plan, to do rather than think, rather than analyze, rather than interview clients, right? We want you to be able to up your game and release more billable time. And all of this calculates and tracks the return on investment in terms of business value, the impact that your work with the client is having. How do you like that? So let's recap. We are doing Clarity Level 1, creating CEO clarity. We can also use this Level 1 24-question analysis with the senior leadership team to create senior leadership alignment or an understanding of how a consensus view of the business. Value planner, what will the business need to be worth tomorrow? And yes, getting you there is within the realm of the possible. We can take this $18 million asset and by increasing revenues, certainly, but importantly, by increasing strategic capacity and achieving a higher multiple, your client is going to be able to achieve their personal wealth goals. Protect value. If you're working with a wealth advisor, or if you are a wealth advisor, there are sophisticated planning and insurance products that should be brought to bear at the beginning of the engagement. Playing the AUM ball, the long ball, is great. It is important. And there are opportunities to help the client with valuable services at the front end. If you're a growth advisor listening to this, this is how you either work with your client's existing wealth advisor or connect them with one of your strategic COIs. Okay, why would you do that? Because you are going to be giving referrals to wealth advisors, and we can talk about why that's such an incredibly good idea. But wealth advisors are the number one most trusted advisor, so think it through. Okay, so discovery level 1, we've got all this great. We go to level 2, the deep analysis. If you've ever been in there, it is people seem to like it. Then we have the leadership module. How do we allocate accountability, execute guidance? What are we going to do to move the business forward? Simulator. What will it look like in the future? Level 2 deliverable. What are the building blocks, the bricks we can use for strategic planning? A complete execution leadership business operating system, rhythm of meetings, tempo, and a business flow scorecard, a flash report. That flash report is embedded in 90. You can also get it as a template. You want it wherever you want to put it. We will give it to you. And you'll be able to use it as a first draft to help your client every single week keep score of their progress. So I hope this provides some demystification. There is a tremendous amount inside Clarity. There is nothing like this on the market. And believe me, we talk to people who are frustrated with other systems, and we are happy to help. There are a lot of great systems out there. None is comprehensive. None is committed to winning new engagements and helping you deliver client wins as Growth Drive. So, one little infomercial on you there, but we are here. We are passionate about what we do, and what we do is help you lead clients from stuck to best in class. We are deeply committed to helping you deliver client wins, wherever that falls in the range of your personal advisory goals. This episode is brought to you by the Growth Drive Summit. Our theme this year is building a profitable advisory business. Join us in Charleston, South Carolina, October 6th, 7th, and 8th. Expand your network, learn new skills, and generally have a good time. This is a top-rated event. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Now, you're a growth advisor, an exit planning wealth advisor, and you want to increase your reach and relevance with business owning clients, right? So let's talk about how Growth Drive's precision system will help you in just 1 or 2 meetings win new engagements, really get your client's attention and expand the reach and impact you can have with this client. So you've seen this before. This is the Growth Drive process, creating CEO clarity, expanding that to team clarity, strategic planning, and on through execution. Now, what we've done is we have layered in and listed for you the meetings that you can lead in order to win an engagement and then go on and deliver individual projects. So if you want to do it this way, you can do one of 2 things. You can get your client to sign off on the whole 9 yards right away. Great. If you can do that, great. Or if you want to de-risk it, you can approach these as projects. Each of these meetings, think of them as a project for which you should be billing. Now let's break these down step by step. The Growth Drive process starts with the growth conversation and with really digging deep with our client about what they need to do to get the success they want. And we define success in terms of their personal lives. Where does this business need to take you? What does it need to deliver for your family? And we'll talk about that in detail in C3D. Now, for this conversation, you use Clarity Level 1. It's 24 questions of a very, very powerful software. And we're going to define the win and then help our client, educate our client about the business's capacity to deliver that win, to deliver against their intent. So in meeting 1, discovery, we use Clarity Level 1, the Value Planner module, the Protect Value module maybe, and the Range of Values report. Hey, here's what your business could be worth. Here's what it's worth today. Here's the delta between the two, the value gap, which translates into a wealth gap. So we're going to have the discovery meeting. And then as part of that meeting or as a follow-on, we're going to sit down and we're going to report to the CEO, to the business owner. We're going to discuss the report with them, educate them further, and then plan next steps. Now, if you're an exit planning wealth advisor listening to this, you might be saying, oof, well, that's about as far as I want to grow. Terrific. This is where you can either hand the reins over to the client and say, here's a, and we'll talk about how to do that. You can hand the reins over to the client using Clarity, using tools like 90, or you can bring in a growth advisor. Now, if you're a growth advisor, let's highlight an opportunity here. You are going to have the value planning and protect value reports in your hand, and you would be able to sit down with a wealth advisor and say, hey, here is some very, very important and valuable intel for you about this client, whether it's a current client or prospective client. So a great entree for collaboration. Okay, now we've sat with the CEO. Now we might be saying to the CEO, hey, this is how you see the business. I wonder how your senior team sees it, because in our experience, the data shows that there is essentially never alignment. There is always misalignment at some level between how your team sees the business operating. And do you think that would be valuable intelligence for you? Yes, I do. Well, I can do this we can do this for you. So you can run Clarity on an anonymized basis with the senior leadership team, right? It's as easy as sending them a URL, or as sophisticated as sitting down and interviewing them. But let's just say you've sent them the URL and you're able to generate the report. Then you're going to sit down and share this report with the CEO and discuss your findings. Now, that often leads to a senior leadership team alignment workshop. All right, these are terrific projects. If even going this far, imagine what your client now knows. Right, they now know their business's strategic capacity. Well, they know where they want to go, their business's strategic capacity currently, how their team sees their operational strength, their strategic capacity, and they're getting a better perspective of how an outsider might view the business, right? So we're kind of peeling the scales off their eyes. This is tremendously impactful work. What's next? Deep analysis, Clarity Level 2. So here's another opportunity for a meeting. Now, whether you're doing with the CEO and with the senior leadership team, it's case appropriate. We're then going to, so the deep analysis, we use Clarity Level 2 in the software, and then we circle back, and in a follow-on meeting, we report our findings. You do not want your client to think that you're just pushing a button and generating all this magic. That's part of it, but you're bringing a tremendous amount of experience and expertise to the table, right? So let's sit down, think it through, create a report, meet with the CEO and discuss that report. Another very, very valuable meeting. We might then take that report and discuss it with the senior leadership team and discuss our findings. Guys, now we're 7 meetings in, potentially 6, 7 meetings in to our engagement. Now think of these can be in a string or they can be individual projects. And you can just take bites of the apple. Hey, do you think we should discuss this with your team? Now we need to take the data you have generated in the deep analysis. That is the data that fuels a strategy. So what is the next meeting that can happen? You can do a half-day or full-day strategic planning retreat with the CEO and with the senior leadership team as appropriate. But that's client dependent, it's case dependent. Once we've done that strategic planning retreat, you're able to go off and draft a plan. Now, whether you're collaborating with the CEO and the senior leadership team to draft the plan or putting the first draft together yourself, case dependent, again, up to what you want to do with your advisory practice. Now, we review that plan and we can workshop potential issues in the plan. And in C3D, again, we talk about how do you make sure that this client, we have a methodology and process that says, okay, start with effective senior leadership, then move to people productive and loyal, then move to recurring revenue. But that may not be appropriate for this client. We have a workshop that we teach that you can run to make sure that we're keeping the strategic plan within the realm of the possible for this client. Okay, cool. Sorry for the aside. We teach all of this, by the way, in the facilitation course, and you'll learn about it in C3D. Now we have the final plan. We're going to sit down. We're going to confirm the plan. We're going to walk through it step by step with the CEO and the senior leadership team as appropriate. Again, now imagine now they have a plan in which you have very importantly transparency and ideally team buy-in, right? They've been heard, they have contributed to the plan, and now the plan is theirs, not yours. Now we're going to take the plan out on the track and do some laps, okay? As a guy who grew up deeply steeped in F1, taking the plan out on the track is where the fun begins, right? Okay, our next meeting might be a half-day company-wide strategy unveiling. Very important. Transparency, transparency, transparency. Letting everybody know where we're going and how we're going to get there in broad strokes. The next meeting, a 1 to 2 full day, and this is in my book, right? A 1 to 2 full day strategy kickoff meeting that you're going to facilitate as co-driver, as co-pilot with the CEO and the senior leadership team, right? And always with the senior leadership team. Now, there are a series of ongoing meetings, and that's where the execution leadership business operating system, Growth Drive's business operating system, comes to play. So we have the agendas, scripts for annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly meetings, daily huddles. Why are these important? You're going to be deploying the Growth Drive Analyze, Design, Execute action cycle. You see 3Ds out there, know what I'm talking about, right? We always analyze, then we plan, then we execute the plan, and we go back and say, all right, what did we fix and what did we break? Because you may break things as you grow, you will break things as you grow the business. Let's go back and shore them up. Always looking back at dimension 1 to make sure that predictable profits and cash flow is ironclad. And then you have collaboration with the advisory team to deliver clients' intent. And so let's just take, I'm going to use whether you're an exit planning wealth advisor, or much more appropriately, a growth advisor, and that line is getting blurred for some of you. You need to collaborate with an advisory team. Who's going to need to be? We have specialized accounting, we have legal, we have investment banking, fractional CFO, and then you may have other subject matter experts on marketing, sales, lean manufacturing, and on and on. We need to collaborate, and your role is to coordinate and to collaborate with transparency so your client always knows what's going on, and importantly, and if you think back to the advisor's pledge, so that the rest of the team understands. Now, imagine you're a growth advisor, and you've been brought in to collaborate on this case by a wealth advisor. This collaboration, this transparency is critically important. Make sure that everyone knows what's going on at all times. And that's the power and strength of having a methodology and a process. You can hand this sheet across the table to a wealth advisor and say, here's what I'm going to do in rough form. This may change a little bit, but generally speaking, here's the plan. Here's the tempo. Here's how this is going to play out. And I anticipate that this, guys, look at this. These meetings can play out over just a few months. Now imagine the impact you will have had on your client. And I'm going to make one more point. This is not, unlike other systems, a franchise. You don't have to do all these things. You can go as deep as you want and then hand it over to your client or bring in another advisor. How does this get in line with your advisory business? Are you a 1 or a 5, right? Do you want to talk about this stuff? Do you want to educate the client about strategic capacity, business value, how to grow their business? Do you want to be the architect designing? Okay, so here we are out at meeting 8, designing the plan to take the business from where it is today to where it needs to be to deliver your client's intent. And are you the general contractor who's going to take that plan and turn it into reality? And we talk at length in C3D about not becoming a subject matter expertise, resisting getting pulled in there. But listen, if you're a 2, a 3, a 4, an educator, an architect, a general contractor, this is a fantastic system. Oh, in just 1 or 2 meetings, you will have sown the seeds for a long-term, very, very valuable engagement. And by the way, your client, and this is calculated and presented in the Clarity software, we are going to share with the client the return on investment that they're going to see from each of these projects, okay, from increasing strategic capacity, thereby increasing the value of their business. And the client is going to get 10x, 20x, 30x ROI on their work with you, and you can report on that and track it every step of the way. Sound good? Yeah, it does. This powerful system is being used by really high-end, seasoned, sophisticated advisors. We are thrilled that we are attracting you guys into the community. Growth Drive, you can find more at growth-drive.com. Email us, sales@growthdrive.com, and if you hit this QR code, it'll take you straight to our homepage, and there is a ton of information there. Okay? Thank you very much. You've got questions, we're here and committed to your success. We'll talk soon.
Hi, this is George. Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe, like, and please take 2 seconds to leave a review. It tells the world that you like what we're doing, and it helps us understand how we can improve the show. Thank you, and see you next time.